Good afternoon. Hello. Sorry for starting 15 minutes late, but I wanted to respect the George Floyd. There's some stuff going on, so just want to respect that. Usually it pops up. Maybe we'll just do that. Yes. Okay. So Nancy, yes, hopefully you end up in here. I'm just going to message her and let a couple people get on. So welcome. I'm going to find my group here, find the post itself. Yes, and if you have all notifications set up in your group, then it will automatically pop up. So welcome, and I see a few people coming on, and I'm sure there will be a few more joining as we go. So welcome once again. And I know a lot of you come on here often, so thank you for coming back each week. And if you're not aware, if you miss any of these, they are in here, but I also am putting them out on Facebook, on YouTube too, and also on IGTV. So we're getting these all over the place. And looking, I actually might add it to my podcast also. So there's lots of different places to find replays of this, but if you're part of this group, just go ahead and watch right in the group. Now, I did do a breakdown, if you haven't been to my blog lately, of the last when we talked about Facebook ad objectives. I did do a whole blog post around that, and I've actually done blog posts around a few of these topics. So you can also go to my blog at janetejohnson.com. So lots of places to find free content that will help train you. So welcome. Let me know where you're from, what city you're joining us from, and I would like this to be as interactive as possible. I know a few people will join in as we go, but I do have some questions and I'd love to hear kind of what you think and what you've been doing with your Instagram. Today, our topic is Instagram algorithm. We're going to be talking about the algorithm and how it works. And some of these things that I found in this recent article that I read, I was surprised with, and much of it I knew, but some of it I did not know, and I'll kind of explain that to you. So welcome. Hey, Christina, Gerard, Tanya, welcome. All right, so let's get going on this, and I will share my screen. Let me make sure I have the article pulled up. So this is an article from my friends at Agorapulse. If you haven't heard of Agorapulse, they're great. I use them for my social media posting software. They have a really good posting software. So if you're not aware of that, look up Agorapulse. You can see it on my screen. Agorapulse is what it's called. And we also have, they have what's called Social Media Lab. And Scott, I've known him for years. He's in charge of Social Media Lab, and these guys have just fantastic content out there. So he talks about the science of the Instagram algorithm. So as you can see, he's supposed to be a scientist and he kind of makes it fun. So they do a lot of tests. It's pretty cool. They do a ton of tests with their marketing. They spend like $1,000 on ads and then just test a specific thing, or and then they write the results on their blog. So this one is about the algorithm. So let's get into it. First question, I'm going to have you answer. So I'm going to pause. How often do you think the Instagram algorithm changes? Okay, how often does it change? Does it change daily? Does it change hourly? How often does the Instagram algorithm change? What do you think? Go ahead and put your comments. How often does the Instagram algorithm change? We're going to talk about that first. That's the first question. All right. I'm going to wait to see at least one answer here. How often do you think it changes? Quite often, by the minute, hourly. Okay, good. Thanks. Hourly. Okay. All right, let's find out. So this is the first question, and this was actually directly from Instagram. Okay. How often does it change? Because it's powered by machine learning, Instagram's feed ranking is constantly adapting and improving based on new data. So the answer is, probably hourly, but it is really could be even by the minutes, by the seconds. It is changing constantly. So if we think we're going to game the system and be able to overcome this algorithm, it's not necessarily true. Now, Jen Herman, she's a good friend of mine too. She has been on our podcast, and she is if you don't follow her, it's 2 N's. She teaches a lot about Instagram and is very good. So here she points out that it delivers a unique feed to every single user based on the content they engage with. And it's very similar to Facebook. Like that's the same thing there. All right. So second question. Does feed ranking favor videos over photos? What do you think? What's bigger and better? Video or photo? Video or photos? Or does it not matter? Videos or photos? I know there's a delay in here, so that's the thing. I'm watching your answers, but I know there's a delay. I'm going to take a sip of water while we're waiting. What do you think? And what have you seen in yours, in your content? Do you think it's video or do you think it's, okay. Videos. Yep. Videos. Okay. With the smartphone in hand, anyone can record and upload to Instagram. Does video favor video or photos? We don't universally favor photos over videos. Your feed is customized for you, so it really depends on how you use Instagram. If you consistently watch a lot of videos, that will be reflected in your feed. That's an interesting answer. That's not something I've really heard about, you watching videos. So the more videos you watch, then maybe it will feed more videos, your videos that you post out to more people. That's interesting. I've never really heard that type of answer before. Okay. And then does the impact does it impact the ranking if you have a business account or a personal account? Does that actually change an impact? Welcome. I see a few new people adding on. Definitely, we're kind of playing a little game here with answering the questions. We talked about video. It's not necessarily video over photos, but it depends. It's a mix. Posting a mix is probably your best bet. Does the type of account you have impact ranking? Meaning, should you have a personal account or should you have a business account, or does it not matter? Let's get to that one. There's personal, business, and there's creator. The answer is no, we do not favor posts from businesses or verified accounts in the feed. If you interact with that content more, of course, it is more likely to appear at the top of your feed. It's all about the interaction more than what type of it is. Then they talk about pods. I don't do much with pods. I've heard they're not the best thing to be doing. So let's get into that one. We hear that pods, groups, people, etc., agree to like, comment, can help a post appear higher in the feed. Authenticity and transparency are key to building sustainable engagement on Instagram. Trying to game the system may provide a short-term benefit, but it is not a recipe for success long-term. In addition, Instagram's feed ranking is powered by machine learning, which is constantly adapting to new patterns in data. So it can recognize inauthentic activities and make adjustments. Meaning if you have the same people liking again and again and again and again, they're going to realize these are the same people and they might be manipulating the system. They will notice that. So the pods are not the best thing to do. Hey, Brenda, welcome, welcome. I see a few people have jumped on. We have Heather, Thea, a few people have jumped on and welcome. So now we're into the next one. I've heard Instagram doesn't count something as a comment unless it's more than 1, 2, or 3 words. Do you think it needs to be more words, or do they count it even if it's just 1 word? What do you think? 1 word? Do you think they count that? Or do you think it needs to be more? So put the word one or put the word more. One or more. Let's see your answers. Okay. I've heard that Instagram doesn't count something as a comment unless it's more than 1, 2, or 3 words. 5 words. Okay. All right. Where is my answer here? Oh, no, that's not the answer. Here's the answer. Comments of any size are counted by Instagram and likely weighed equally when it comes to algorithm and that user's feed. On the day Instagram launches these stories busting common algorithm myths, they posted this regarding engagement. So engagement, comments, likes, reshares. Instagram didn't elaborate as to any of the ranking regarding engagement type, but suffice to say all engagement is important. Comments likely have the highest ranking because they require the most effort by the Instagram user. So yeah, the emoji comment, I've heard that too, Brenda, that they sometimes don't count that as much as an actual word. Here's the deal. I feel personally, they didn't really give a proper answer here. And I'm kind of with Brenda on it. I don't know that you have to hit 5 words, but I would do a few words as a comment to really help that algorithm. So I think it weighs a little more. If it is a longer comment, you could add the emoji with it, but just an emoji alone probably doesn't help as much. And typically comments would weigh the most because it is the most effort. And that's how it's been on Facebook too. Next question, last question, but then we're going to talk a little more and some other things. I've heard that the algorithm ranks posts higher that get a lot of likes or comments in the first 30 minutes. And this is something, well, let's hear your answers. Do you think you need the comments within the first 30 minutes? Put in the word 30 if you think so. First 30. That makes you sad? No. Your pie. Yeah, that's good. First 30 minutes, do you think? All right. And here's the answer. Again, Instagram's making it clear that the most important factor in what an Instagram user sees in his feed is the account they have recently engaged with. No rush to have everyone run over to your Instagram to post 5 seconds after it's posted to engage in order to trick the algorithm into showing the post more. Simply not how the algorithm works. That's not to say you shouldn't pay attention to what the best time to post on your Instagram account. And I have covered this in previous trainings where you can learn based on going to on your phone to when people are on the most in your insights inside of Instagram. And you do want to get more engagement. So if you post at the times you know your people, your audience are on, then you're more likely to get the engagement that you're looking for. So they show here the insights and how to get, when you go to your Instagram insights, you need to swipe through a few screens to get to this, and it will show your audience and it will show their age. And here it will show the biggest times of the day. So the Monday, for instance, their peak is like 12 to 3. So whenever we're scheduling posts out, we look at this every 30 days in all the accounts that we manage. And when we look at it, we go, okay, what's the best days of the week and what are the biggest hours of the week that we should be posting? When is our audience there? Because then you're more likely to get the engagement and you're more likely to get seen if your audience is there. And this changes. It does tend to, what I've noticed, it does tend to stick with the times that you are posting. So if you kind of go gear it towards, if you don't know anything and you're barely starting on Instagram, you just kind of have to go for it. But then you need to check for it and learn. And then once you start doing that, it tends to grow on those certain times that you are posting. So it's very interesting how it works. All right, I've started using Insights. We get the most engagement in the evening and the morning, depending on if it's during the week or weekend. And see, that's an interesting statement because I have noticed too that many of my posts are 9 o'clock at night is when the audience is most on. And a lot of people, business owners especially, think, well, I need to post Monday through Friday during the day because that's when my audience is on. No, you need to look at your insights and learn when your audience is on, and it might not be what you think. I've noticed that it sticks when you're posting too. Sticks long. Yep, exactly. So don't forget about weekends. Don't forget about the days of the weeks. I think that's very, very important. Any questions on any of these things that we just covered? We just covered a few. I'm going to cover a couple more that I just want to talk about. This is all about the algorithm, but I think the key thing is I want you to realize that it's about conversations too. One factor that I know they look at, Instagram looks at, is how much time you spend on the platform itself. So getting in there 15 minutes a day is beneficial for your helping with the algorithm also. The more you're in there, the more you engage. And if you go to other people that follow you and comment on their feeds too, and create a real authentic conversation, they're more likely to notice you, and they're more likely then to maybe come check out your feed, and then they've been to your feed. So then you're going to show up more in theirs at the top of their feed because they've just engaged with you. So it's all about taking the time to actually conversate and engage with others. And it's hard because I know we all are very limited on time. But that's why you can go to if you go to the three little lines in the upper right corner and click activity, and I've talked about this before, you can actually inside the app set a timer on how much time you want to spend a day. And I set mine for 15 minutes because, yeah, I mean, I get it. We don't have hours and hours and hours in a day to be spending on this. So I like to aim at 15 minutes a day. I hop in there, I engage with others. I may follow some other, we're basically, I'm trying some other things to market to certain types of businesses. And so we're following those certain types of businesses hashtags. We go like their posts, we comment, and we're authentic about it, and going and commenting on the fans that you currently have too. Where is the insight on Instagram? Yeah, good. Oh, Bob answered. Christina answered it. Insights, but not the time frame of insights. Yes, on there, the time frame, you have to actually scroll to the right when your audience is on. I can't go in there right now because I'm watching it on my phone, but yes, it's under audience at the very bottom, and then you should see the numbers. If you actually click on the bars too, if you click on them, that will give you an exact number on the times of the day and the days of the week. So it's very cool to dig into the insights. I think insights on Instagram is very important to help you get more engagement on your posts, because that's what Instagram's really about, is getting the engagement, getting seen, and then that's the brand awareness piece. And then we bring all that in with ads and conversions too. So because you can target Instagram engagement with Facebook ads. So that's another layer to it. So these are the questions. If you have a couple more questions, let me know on Instagram. But what we covered today was just spending time on the platform. How often is the Instagram algorithm changed? All the time. Does feed ranking favor videos over photos? Not necessarily. Does the type of account you have impact your ranking? Nope. You can have personal, you can have business. It doesn't matter. Pods, do they help it? No, because you're manipulating the system. Instagram doesn't count something as a comment unless it's more than 1, 2, or 3 words. Personally, I think it could help to have longer sentences, but it counts everything. And then does it post higher when there's engagement right away? Not necessarily either. It's all about the engagement, but they do show your post a little more at the very beginning. So I don't know about that answer. I do know when you first put your post out there, it's more likely to be seen. So obviously if you get more engagement at the front end, it can help. So I'm not sure I believe in that answer exactly, but those were everything we covered on the algorithm today. It was a very quick call. Hopefully you got a lot of information from it. And, you know, the bottom line is spend some time on Instagram and create the conversations, send direct messages saying hi. If you love somebody's feed, send them a message. I have some things that I'm putting into works for a training, and my training is called Insta Conversions. And there will be a whole training that goes deep into actually how to turn this engagement into conversions. It's not ready yet, but it's coming soon, hopefully. And I will let you know as soon as I have it. So if you're not following me on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, I have a Janet E. Johnson channel there. And then you can always visit my blog. A lot of this is repurposed into deeper detail on my blog at janetejohnson.com. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week. By the way, this is moving to Thursdays. Tuesdays popped up for me a little too fast, and I found that beginning of the week was a little tough just in my schedule. So it's the same time of day, but it will be on Thursdays from now on in this group. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll chat to you soon.